Listeners, rather than making friends with good times, make friendships with good friends. A good friend can bring good times back into your life, but good times that have passed cannot bring back a good friend. In a village, there lived a man named Neeraj. He lived alone in a small hut. Neeraj was a very lazy person. He never did any work. He was always wandering around looking for something to eat. One day, while he was wandering, he came across a mango orchard. He hadn't had anything to eat for 2 days, so Neeraj was starving. Seeing the orchard, he entered it to eat some fruit. Once inside, he saw many different types of trees. He climbed one tree and was about to pick a fruit when the owner of the orchard arrived. The owner saw Neeraj up in the tree and immediately became angry. He angrily ordered Neeraj to come down from the tree. But seeing the owner's anger, Neeraj refused to come down, fearing that he might be tied up if he did. The owner couldn't control his anger any longer. He went inside the house to fetch a stick. In the meantime, Neeraj quickly climbed down and ran towards the nearby forest, where he hid. After some time, he started walking from the forest towards the village. On the way, Neeraj saw a fox. The fox had 2 crippled legs and stayed mostly in one place without moving around much. This surprised Neeraj. He wondered how this fox managed to survive in such a dense forest. It couldn't run or hunt. How did it get its food? Moreover, how did it protect itself from the other fierce animals in the forest? As he was thinking this, he heard a rustling sound in the bushes. He saw a lion approaching with a piece of meat in its mouth. The lion was heading straight towards the helpless fox. Seeing the lion, all the nearby animals ran away. Neeraj also climbed a tree to protect himself. But what happened next surprised him. The lion came and placed the piece of meat in front of the fox and then left. Seeing this, Neeraj was astonished. He was happy to witness how God takes care of all creatures. He thought, the Almighty must have a plan for everyone. If He has a plan for this helpless fox, then surely there must be a plan for me too. With this thought, he climbed down from the tree and started walking back towards the village. After walking for a while, he sat under a big tree by the roadside. He thought, if I sit here, someone will surely bring me food. He sat there for 2 days, but no one brought him any food. When he could no longer bear the hunger, he finally started looking for food himself. As he continued walking, he saw an elderly man sitting by the side of the road. Neeraj approached the old man and said, I am very hungry. Do you have anything to eat? The elderly man gave him some food and water from his bag. After eating, Neeraj said to the old man, Sir, you won't believe what I'm about to tell you, and he recounted the incident with the fox and the lion he had witnessed 2 days earlier. God might have a plan for me too. But unlike the fox, no one brought me any food. It seems God did not show me the same mercy He showed to that fox, Neeraj concluded. Hearing Neeraj's words, the elderly man laughed and said, What you say is true. God indeed has a plan for everyone. He has surely made a plan for you as well. But you have misunderstood God's intention. God doesn't want you to be like the helpless fox. He wants you to be like the lion that brought food to the fox. Listeners, in our lives, there is always something to learn from every living creature. Every moment teaches us something. By observing the fox, Neeraj dreamed of a lazy life where he could sit comfortably and eat without effort. But he didn't see the helpless situation of the fox. We are not as helpless as that fox. God has given us the strength to work. He wants us to live like the lion. Even though we have the ability, we often choose to be like the fox without making any effort, instead of striving to be like the lion. We must work hard and become like the lion. We should have faith and trust in God's plan. Here's a story to illustrate this point. In a certain kingdom, there was a king named Shridasena. He had a loyal and wise minister named Sashina. The minister was very intelligent and believed that whatever happens, happens for the good. Once, a king was seated on his throne with his minister beside him. Suddenly, by accident, the minister's sword fell and cut off one of the king's toes. Immediately, as was his habit, the minister said, "Whatever happens, happens for the good, O great king." Upon hearing this, the king became furious. He exclaimed, "How can you say that when I have lost one of my toes because of you?" Immediately, he ordered his soldiers to throw the minister into prison. The minister was not saddened by losing his position of authority or being thrown into prison. He repeated to the king, "Everything that happens, happens for the good, O great king." Astonished and puzzled by the minister's words, the king couldn't understand why the minister believed that going to prison could be for the good. This perspective did not resonate well with the king. Once, after several months had passed since the incident with the minister, the king went hunting in the forest with some soldiers. As they ventured deeper, the soldiers and the king went their separate ways. Eventually, the king found himself pursuing a deer eagerly, but it eluded him. He lost his way in the process. As he searched for the path back, heading towards his city, he was attacked and captured by a group of forest dwellers. The tribesmen were happy to see the king for a robust and healthy man suitable for sacrifice to their deity, took him along to their village or shrine. For many days, they had been seeking such a person with strong health and a sturdy body as an offering to their goddess. The king requested the tribals to let him go, saying that he was the ruler of such a kingdom. However, the words of the king did not make sense to the tribals. They tied him up and brought him to their leader. The tribal leader was pleased to see the king. Now, with joy, the tribals started dancing and singing. They dressed the king in new clothes, adorned him with a flower garland around his neck, and prepared him for a ritual sacrifice. As the tribal leader noticed the absence of a toe on the king's foot, he immediately signaled to halt the ritual sacrifice. "Release him. He is incomplete. If we sacrifice him, the goddess will become angry with us," he instructed his people. Thus, they let the king go. The king returned to his kingdom joyfully. Upon arrival, he immediately ordered the release of his minister and reinstated him to his position. The king asked the minister, "Tell me, what did you mean when you said everything that happens to me is for the good, when you accidentally cut my toe that day?" The minister replied, "When I said that, I meant that even though I faced 3 months in prison, something good would come out of it for you." The minister chuckled and said, "Your Majesty, if you hadn't put me in prison, I would have been with you. When they saw your toe injured, they would have let you go. But without any injury, I would have been sacrificed in your place. As your faithful minister, I was always with you. That's why my life was spared." Everything happens for the good. In our lives, often we feel many times that things are not happening correctly. I have faced all difficulties myself. It seemed that it should not have happened like this. However, when we look back another day, we realize that everything happened for the best. We evaluate every incident with our intellect, but there is a limit to our intellect. It cannot accurately judge the nature of events, whether they are good or bad. This world is based on the principles of karma. Those who do good deeds find happiness, and those who commit bad deeds experience sorrow. Hence, when we are in distress or facing difficulties, we should understand that we are experiencing the results of our past actions, karma. Similarly, happiness too. If we really see it, God directs us towards redemption by giving us the result of our bad deeds. But we do not understand it. In this creation, His accounting is never wrong. It is very accurate. This world is mathematically perfect. Therefore, whatever happens, happens for our good, isn't it? If you liked this story, please like it and subscribe for more new stories.